So it is kind of stunning, at least to me, to think that we have these hours together and we are going to talk about God. And so I want us to move slowly into the subject. And I want us to do that by underscoring for ourselves that theology is like other sciences. Theology is a science where the knower has to reorganize himself or herself around the known. If you think back to the Renaissance and the Reformation and the explosion of scientific exploration, the use of new scientific methods, exactly the same principle held there as holds in theology. That we cannot determine what the world is like on the basis of our Aristotelian philosophy. We've got to listen and we've got to rearrange our minds around the reality that is there. And indeed, even the very questions that we ask may have been inappropriate. So that in this kind of hermeneutical engagement in the scientific enterprise, we're always having to adjust even the questions we ask, because if we ask the wrong question, we may make a category mistake that will lead to the wrong answer. And of course, the whole history of science is punctuated by that kind of thing. Now, the same is true when it comes to the science of theology, the knowledge of God that lies at the heart of our thinking in the theological system. And this is the biggest challenge to us, that actually what needs to happen is that we need to rearrange the whole disposition with which we think about God around who God is. And this is actually a different kind of enterprise from the way we are ordinarily engaging with things. We are ordinarily engaging with things as those who are the intellectual masters who will creatively produce the disclosure of that which we are studying. But that approach to theology would be fatal, wouldn't it? Because we are not the masters, we are the servants. And not only are we the servants, but we are talking not even about the cosmos, but about the one who we could well say is infinitely greater than the cosmos that seems to us to be almost infinitely great. And so, as especially Bavinck emphasizes, picking up a whole tradition of the best theology, the disposition of the theologian always needs to be one of humility. And the problem is no theologian is humble before God by nature. And there's added to this problem that we're going to become masters of Bavinck. And if we can fall into this illusion that mastering Bavinck is the same thing as knowing God. And so it seems to me that this course of all courses, is in a sense the biggest challenge to us, because we're trying not to talk about man. Whereas in most other courses, we're given tremendous latitude to talk about man. I mean in the generic sense. When we talk about matters of prolegomena, there's a lot of stuff there where we're talking about the kind of things we do. When it comes to anthropology, that's exactly what we're talking about. When we're talking about Christology, we're getting a handle on the incarnation. And so there's a very evident point of contact. So in many areas of theology and in church history, we're talking about this level. Practical theology. Hebrew, we're talking about Hebrew. But here we're talking about God.